and I think where we are right now is in Restov, Lady Jamandi's manor. Last session, you all went on a shopping spree. If I recall, you dug into every corner of every pocket and loaded up on all kinds of new gear. I don't remember everything that the group picked up, but I think everyone at least came away with an item or two of interest. And as you were making your way back toward the manor, your guide led you into a sneak attack that launched at you from the rooftops, and then ultimately you were able to climb up on the roofs, get into some fighting, and start to handle the threat. And I believe one of the four assailants began to flee, and Sydney tracked them through town back to a noble district and a what was in a building directly adjacent to several notable noble houses of Restov. So those were some things that he relayed when he returned, or she relayed, I should say. And I think narratively speaking, because Clayton can't be here with us this evening, we will say that Lady Jamandi and Sydney have talked about this, and Lady Jamandi has asked Sydney to do some further investigation. So she will be off investigating this a little bit further as you all are mingling and making yourselves known to be the leaders of the newfound territory in the stolen lands. And I believe the founding day is what they're calling this for your kingdom. And this is a celebration of the founding of your kingdom. Basically, there's a lot of dignitaries and nobles that have poured in from Restov that some may be familiar, others are probably not, but you're essentially being bombarded by all sorts of new faces and handshakes and notable connected nobles, I should say. And throughout this sort of dinner and this evening, each of you have made contact with one person that you've connected with and maybe had a longer conversation with. And starting with, I'm gonna say with Dallett, you had been you've met again dozens of folks this evening, but one gentleman in particular, his name is Carell, and Carell is a well-known hunter who talks a little bit about some of his exploits in the western stolen lands, in the Gnarl Marches, and more in the western territory that you have all not yet reached, south of Oleg's trading post, in fact. And he seems to have some information about that region that he wants to give you, but he mentions that now is not the time. But I would love to speak with you more later about your newfound territory and some emerging threats. And that's Kellen. And again, he's someone, if you want to ask questions of, he knows a little bit about the inner workings of the politics here in Restov also, but seems to be more of a probably like a fighter type like yourself, which maybe is how you two started to talk.
I don't go asking him anything about the inner workings of the politics of Restov, but I'll tell him that he can contact us any point and we'll go on an adventure with him. Go explore the Western lands.
That would be great indeed. I would love to hunt with you one day. You seem like a fine hunter, and I would show you what little I know, but I have certainly seen a lot in that area that will eventually come your way.
Mm. We'll
So
have to keep an
we will be giving Lady Jamandi a briefing later this evening, and I believe that she has asked you to join, so we could talk more about it then. But until then, keep your sword sharp, friend, and enjoy your founding. And he'll cheers to you. So he amongst again a whole group of new faces and names emerge as one that you all get a chance to speak with, and he stands out with his garb and the fact that he's like probably the only person here that's about eye to eye with Dallett in terms of
eye.
size. So they both stand out in that sense, two tanks. The other person, and this would be for you, Fenwarden, that You actually notice at one point you're drifting off. You maybe don't find these fancy feasts to be so entertaining to you. You'd rather be off in the woods and amongst the trees and the birds and whatnot. And speaking of which, you look up and you see a bird that catches your eye that's sitting up high above sort of one of the banners, seemingly looking down upon the group. And I'd like to have you make a nature check, please. All right, yeah, so you just start to watch the bird after a little while, and you're sure that it's definitely someone's familiar in this room. And you're starting to try to figure out who that could be, perhaps, and looking around the room. If you would make a perception check. Yes, so you notice a half-elven male who's sitting on the far side of the chamber who appears to be making some contact with the bird, at least looking in its direction, and seems to be aware of it. And so your sneaking suspicion is that they're somehow familiar with one another. Yeah, he definitely gives off he has an interesting choice of wardrobe for an event like this and would be unique in this place in terms of how he is definitely appears to be a little bit more of a druid type than you would expect to be at such a fancy gathering. Do you make any moves to make contact or to continue to monitor the bird and the patron, or
Fenwarden will, yeah, he'll make his way over there to the half elf and just indicate towards the bird and say it's a beautiful bird. I appreciate the things of nature more than the things that have been constructed by the hands of these craftsmen here. Am I correct in
Mhm.
knowing that the bird and you are connected?
I see. So how about a diplomacy check on your delivery of your
Do
introduction
that.
here?
Okay. And
Yes. So
I'll give him my name, of course, too.
and so he's staring up at the bird as you're speaking, and he says, I knew there would be perhaps one fellow here who
Hmm.
felt the same way I do. And he says, please have a seat and some wine, and he pours some wine for you. And he says to you that let's see, who is he? He's Carell. The other one's Carell. Kellen, excuse me. He's Kellen.
Oh, the other one's Krell. This is Kellen.
I
Okay.
believe I got that. I may have got it backwards earlier. I'm not sure, but this is Kellen. And
Okay.
Kellen is, in all appearances to you, appears to be a druidic.
Hmm.
And the way that he's able to just sit in this room without being enamored with all of it is definitely a different vibe at this table, and one you're more comfortable with. So if you're willing to have a drink with him, he will ask you a few questions.
Yeah, we'll have a drink. I'll try to keep the conversation about uh, woods that we've visited or the creatures that we've seen, anything but talking about the city. So,
He said, how rude of me. I should at least introduce you. And as they does that, the raven flies over to your table and lands, like nods in your direction,
mhm.
acknowledging that you're there, and begins to take some of the food off of the plate of Kellen here. And he says, this is Silverfire. And he says, he will keep an eye on things for us. And
Excellent.
he has kept a fine eye on things for me and relayed a lot to me about the lands that you now inhabit. It is quite a responsibility that you now bear to be responsible for this territory and to have such threats growing outside of it.
Indeed, it is. But it is the help of friends and even just information that can make the difference and help us to be successful.
Tell me, have you seen anything that you find to be particularly unsettling, unexplained? I'm always fascinated to hear about this.
The thing that comes to mind most readily is yes, we looked and examined a tall smokestack, perhaps a forge or something. But when we came to it, it was difficult to even find a way in, and yet the smoke comes out, and we know not about it. It is unexplained. It's south of Restov, not too far from the river. And someday we hope to go back and learn more about
It sounds most unnatural. Did it give you any signs that it was?
I would say there are no signs that it was natural. We looked for a way in. We found what may have been a way in, but we were unsettled by it, and we were making haste to come to Restov. And I'm more comfortable that we did not at that time, try to investigate further. But something as unnatural as that will require us to go at some point and find out more about it.
Yes, I would be cautious with such a place, to make sure that you employ the same magnitude of arcana that you can, because it does sound as if it's not a place where our natural abilities would shine. But I am fascinated by your travel and what else you have seen moving south. Rumor was that you had seen perhaps the grave of the barbarian king.
Yes, we found many barrows, and in fact, yes, we did. We did find that, but we're on task to be careful with that information.
Oh, I see. I am only here for business, and I wish I could enjoy more of the pleasure of the day, but perhaps we will cross paths again, and I should hope that your kingdom continues to flourish.
Yes. From what kingdom do you come? From where do you reside?
Home for me is now a constantly moving place, but I would say that in the Gnarl Marches is where I prefer to be. It's not safe to be there anymore.
In that case, perhaps we will see you on the road, and I'll consider that a happy meeting if that comes to pass.
I shall remember you. I shall remember our meeting, and if we do cross paths again, perhaps also remember that Silverfire will know who you are. And one of the markings on the bird that you see above its beak is that it has some gray feather that kind of comes out. It looks like a little fire as in and of itself, and definitely has like its own unique marking that you would be able to distinguish having been this close to it and such a nature expert.
Other ravens.
Pretty easily, yeah. And yeah, you're able to again enjoy conversation and ask questions of Kellen if you so wish throughout the evening as well. So if anything pops into your mind, feel free to ask. And
Yeah, I'm curious if he knows. He may not because it's a city thing, but if he knows anything about the house Sortova,
hmm,
where those thugs came from. I don't know if maybe they've had dealings in the outside of the town that he's aware of.
I know not much of them other than that they are one of the key houses of Restov.
Hmm. Yeah.
Their relationship with Lady Jamandi, I think, is volatile, but beyond that, I dare not track the politics that changed with the wind.
All right.
As you're having that introduction and conversation as well, at one point, Reckla, you're at your table, perhaps trying to figure out like how to eat this bird that's been served to you, and a man walking by notices that and stops to introduce himself to you, and he says, "Is it Sir Reckla?" Calling out to you and catching you by surprise. You're like looking like around you if he's calling you sir. But
You're mistaken.
he says to you, "Congratulations on the founding of your kingdom, sir. I am confident that you will thrive in years to come. But I must introduce myself. I am Grayton." And he reaches out to extend a handshake with you. And you notice that he's dressed in some very fine garb as well. And at that time, Reckla, you can make a perception check. Or I'm sorry, actually, do you have society training? Maybe you don't.
No, I don't.
You can just do perception. Okay. So he definitely appears to be of the noble class, but you get the sense that he's not from Restov. So that might be, he's not one of the noble houses of Restov. He stands out a little bit in that way. But again, he looks like he's certainly off in the way that he is dressed. You may be not sure if he's just connected or some other employee, but he offers to you that he would like to meet with you at some point to establish a trade agreement. If you have time, it would be wonderful to put the details down and establish some trade with your area.
I would be interested in establishing some trade relations. Just out of curiosity for the meeting, what goods do you particularly deal in?
I am a representative from Varnhold, and we have a plethora of metals and minerals at our inventory that we would wish to trade for other goods and services, some of which you may come across or begin to develop. We're always looking for buyers of our products, as well as those that craft good quality items we may import as well.
Excellent. I would be very open to these discussions. I'm afraid I know not much of Varnhold.
Oh yes, Varnhold is actually connected with the lore of the Aldori and the Sword Lords themselves. The legend has it that Varnhold born some of the greatest Sword Lords to ever walk the Stolen Lands. And I think I'm wondering who else would. I'm just trying to get a sense if you would read other people's reactions to this. But
Yeah, that definitely seems like that would be a society check.
yeah, I think that would be a good way to do this, just so that as he's saying this, you can get a read on other people around. I think, yeah, takes you a minute to realize that a lot of the other people sitting nearby seem to be like actively avoiding this guy, just almost like wishing he would go away if they just stopped looking
Yeah,
at him, kind of thing,
there's
and that
something
sort of thing.
shady about this guy.
Yeah, so you're not sure if it's him specifically or where he's from specifically, but something doesn't sit well. Doesn't look like there's a lot of takers on of interest that would be like nudging you to continue to have the conversation with him. So you don't get a good feeling about it in that moment, but maybe why isn't as clear to you yet. So, but yeah, anything else you want to leave him with or to say to him? You can
No,
ask him
just
things also about Restov if you're interested. He would have expertise in Restov lore.
no, I think I'm gonna let him go. I think I'll give him information on how to contact me through Stagfall. Reach my offices at Stagfall.
All right.
And we'll see if we can arrange a trade agreement.
All right. Then if you want to give him give me a diplomacy check on that line of BS. Let's see how well you. All right. It's not like the best feeling, but you definitely said what you had to say, and he gets your point. So whether he took offense or read into it, you're not so sure, but you squirm out of that one, and the awkward feeling definitely fades away as the further he gets from your table. And it's around that point that you hear a bell and you look towards the front of the room, and Lady Jamandi is ringing a bell and saying, "We should gather in recognition of Founding Day. And please, I hope you're enjoying your meals and the fineries of Restov. But today is not about Restov. It is about our new friends to the west, and who I will recognize now as being Sir Dallett." And you get a roaring applause, Sir Dallett, especially from the side of the room where your new friend sits, Karel. He and his group are pretty boisterous at this point, so you get a round of extra applause from that side of the room. She next
Don't let it
says,
go to your head too much, Dallett. They're pretty drunk. So
"Sir Fenwarden," you stand up and Like, there's still an applause that's carried over, so it's pretty good. And even maybe the raven would squawk here just once, but you're the less known, the lesser known
Mhm.
of the group. And then finally with us is Sir Reckla. And again, it's more just winding down reaction here. But yeah, definitely, I think, Reckla, one thing that you noticed throughout the evening was how many people either mistook you or thought you might have been Tartuccio, because they either had heard of the purple gnome or had seen him a long time ago, and of course made those. So it might be like an annoyance at this point that you've been misrecognized or accidentally called Tartuccio at certain points. And so you have a feeling that has a little bit to do with the response that you get in the room, because there's confusion about that and maybe a different perspective on the two of you depending on the camp you're
That'd be
in.
handy.
She basically will, and what we're gonna do is make a couple rolls to get through this. But she would say to you, each of you, I would ask that each of you give us one thing that your kingdom will swear by, and she's gonna start and go through in the same order, and basically is looking for you to make some appeal to the current audience about what you'll be bringing to the table or what you're going to be doing that's a noble cause, etc. Something along those lines is the prompt. So she says first, Sir Dallett, what will your kingdom bring us?
We will bring security. We will take out bandits on the roads. We will hunt down threats to the kingdom. And we will make things safe.
And let's have you do a diplomacy check. Or performance. If you want to do intimidation, I'd take that too, because you could roll in the threat of we've got to block this threat kind of thing. Whichever of those is better for you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And definitely you get a great response to security and a lot of pretty wide acceptance that's going to be important to everyone. So you feel good about that one. It's like you went first on the Family Feud and you got the easy one. The next up is Fenwarden. What will your kingdom bring to our lands?
We will bring open roads to encourage fair trade that benefit all classes.
Ah, and you actually, there's like a table that was like mostly of merchants, and they suddenly
Mhm.
rip up in applause for your implication that the trade routes will be opened. While some of the others maybe they're a little more skeptical, but you definitely get a good response from the merchant class here. And go ahead and do a diplomacy check on that, please.
Diplomacy.
You can do performance, diplomacy, or intimidation.
Oh, I think diplomacy is where I'm going to be.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So I think that maybe as you noticed that the whole room wasn't as excited, you wrap it up with a politician's wit, and you're like bringing costs down for everyone, and then everyone's yeah. You get the whole room now is yes, that's a good one. Last but not least, Sir Reckla, what benefit will you bring or your kingdom bring us all?
Stability. We offer stability to these lands that we can, in peace, as neighbors, as traders, and as rulers of the outcome.
All right, let's see how your diplomacy is interpreted here. Very nice. Very nice. Quite the speaker, quite the public speaker. And again, ends on a note that no one could be upset with, that we'll have stability. Definitely the room rips up and cheers for security, trade, and stability. And then Lady Jamandi will say, then this is your charter, that you will bring us security, trade, and stability to the region. Many of the folks that you have met or not met here this evening will aid you and help supply you into the future, but you must lead and you must secure the territory, establish the trade routes, and ensure the stability of all of those within the territory before we could move forward with further advancements connecting our kingdom and your new kingdom. And again, everyone cheers to this and is At this point, the formalities start to come to an end, and Lady Jamandi walks to your table and says to you that I'll be having a security briefing later this evening, and I would love to have you all as guests to be there for whatever is my knowledge needs to be yours as well. And so with that, she leaves you all to finish off in the revelry here and whatever discussions you wanted to wrap up in the manor.
Should we name our kingdom?
You should. I meant to before. That's exactly what I meant to pull up. Thank you. Is the map. And this is this is the territory that, and so I meant to make you see this while you were rolling, but basically each of your diplomacy checks secured you a different zone. And so ultimately what was on the line was the size of your kingdom and the territory that was being granted to you. Because you passed your first check, or you passed all your checks, you're being granted the full zone for your kingdom.
Okay.
And so this is now your kingdom, and you would declare at this ceremony, you would declare your kingdom's name, and we'll add your kingdom's name to the map, and you can declare your capital, or whatever you want to call it for now, your headquarters, until you establish what you want to be your permanent capital. What would the final vote be on the name? It might be funny as you're sitting at the table still haven't decided.
I thought we figured
that's
that
sort of,
out.
yeah.
We're just gonna roll the die for it, I think.
You want to do?
Yeah, didn't we have like a collection, like a list of names?
See, did we?
I just put them into the chat. I just got that out of Discord, what we had before.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Newfound, Valeriana, Proxima, and Friesland.
The other name. This is the other name that that's the name that the module gives, that they suggest. If your group doesn't want to name their kingdom, we suggest Narland. So that was the other one that you can do. New Brevoy is another one that's supposed to be suggested. So those two come with the module, but that doesn't matter at all. That's just filling in blanks. So if
I'd say just roll between the 3 original ones then.
All right.
Sydney added. Oh no, he said nix it. Never mind. Go ahead.
So it looks like you're going to vote then between the 3, Valeriana, Proxima, and Friedland.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sure.
All right. All right. So who wants to roll to decide, or do you all want to roll and see what the majority gets? So if you want to roll, you could roll a d6. How about everyone roll a d6? That's what we'll do. Okay, so it looks like it would be Valeriana.
Valeriana. Oh no, that's Valeriana. Okay. Very nice.
All right, there we go. We got it. So Valeriana, and at least the temporary capital, or what would you declare your capital name to be, since that's the other point of contention? It was formerly Fort Sorenko.
Stagfall.
Okay, Stagfall.
Stagfall.
Nice. All right, now we got something. All right, so we got Stagfall. Oops, gotta move the map. All right, and we've got Valeriana as the kingdom. So these have now been etched into charter that you have, and so thus Brevoy recognizes your kingdom and your emerging kingdom, and Stagfall as your current capital. I think one of the other things that would emerge throughout these conversations, again, being like these merchants who would want to establish trade with you once you're settled. Like you get a lot of that. Like once you get things settled, and I think the general feeling is like you guys do still have to finish your roadways, make sure that they're functioning, and that everything there would begin to flow as to be beneficial for those doing trade towards the mines. You're probably going to want to commission more roadway in other directions to continue trade routes. Part of your charter now and part of your territory includes Oleg's trading post. So you all are now actually the rulers of his territory, and upon your return you would wield a lot more influence and whatnot. So that's all a part of your territory, and up to and including all the way down to where the smoking tower was. That's also in your territory, right? And so you talked about stability, and you have that threat to contend with as well. Just this might be like your growing to-do list in your mind as far as your kingdom's concerned throughout the evening. Anything else anyone has for the current group, the current setting, room of nobles?
I'll ask somebody if they have any concerns about our territory, anything they would like addressed.
Concerns about your territory?
Yeah.
I think a lot of them fear the Gnarl March. So the far west of your territory, particularly the area north of the Thorn River, is considered to be inhabited, fully inhabited, and uninhabitable. So this is where you get the most fear from folks who talk to you about your territory. I think you would be we can flip over to our advisor meeting with Lady Jamandi, and what this would be, because this would be some of the subject that she would be getting briefed on and she would be pulling you in on at this point, is these threats and what they know. And interestingly, the two people who she brings forward as experts are two people you already know. The two names that I interposed earlier, Kellen and Karel. So Kellen and Karel are actually the two advisors that she has with her, and upon your joining the council room, they pull up the map of the kingdoms here and begin to show you, and obviously you can see the line on the map for Valeriana that has just recently been inked. But it's at this point that both the hunter and the druid begin to speak simultaneously about the fact that there are trolls that have been spotted throughout this region here, and that it's been a growing problem, a growing threat, and that there has been rumor that there has been a noble troll, if you will, a king of trolls, that has moved his territory northward in the Gnarl Marches and become comfortable operating on the edge of your new territory. And so that's brought pushed a lot of people, hunters and small villages out of the region entirely and into Valeriana. Even you haven't seen some of those settlements further west of Stagfall yet, but they advise that you will find them, that these are pockets of folks who've been driven out of the wood and into the open plains and fend for themselves, and eventually may find their way to Stagfall if they even know it exists. But that's probably the top threat that's talked of.
So we got to go to war with the troll.
It's definitely, they're going to start to get bolder, and I think that Oleg's trading post would be talked about like as securing Oleg's, and obviously when rumor starts to reach Oleg's, it's usually too late, and rumor has started to reach there according to Karel. But Kellen, he says that, and he has more of a network of animals and druids and rangers that he gets information from, and he says that they've already come further west than you realize, or further east than we realize. So he says that the threat is more real, and probably not necessarily Oleg's that's in the direct path, but more the heart of Valeriana. So this is the region that they say is going to be the most difficult, and so both Kellen and Karel will offer you their services to help you secure that border. Each of them have some assistance, some manpower, animal power they can provide to the cause, but ultimately the solution will be up to you on how to secure it fully. Basically, they tell you that they'll be making way at separate time, heading back west again, and when they do, that they will stop to find you either in Stagfall or that region, and they'll make it known that they're available to you to help get on the border and do whatever's needed. You've made some alliances around that, and at least you've got some help with your biggest threat, but the expression on Kellen's face changes, and he says, but there is another threat, an even more unnatural threat that Fenwarden speaks of, and it has gone unchecked. It smokes in the south, and we know not of what. So I would urge that this be our priority, as the trolls, let's face it, know what they are to an extent, but I have more fear of the unknown. If it is
It's also worrisome that it is so established, whatever it is. It's been there for a long time.
It's been generations since travelers have been bold enough to go south and return. Things have changed. So with this, I would urge you to take a more immediate action, as the troll threat will be dealt with more tactily. Any other questions that you all have, or
What's their knowledge on the Ergothoan threat?
that would be, I think, more something that would resonate with Kellen, the druid, and he would tell you that rumor of the Ergothoans and their worship of rot grows as well. And I have no reason to believe that the Troll King and the Ergothoans would work together, but it is a dark fear of mine. But you likely know more of them, have seen more of them than I.
So they haven't been extremely active, but they're not unknown.
No new news.
Yeah, you definitely get the sense that the Ergothoan footprint right now is centered in that region down there, and not so much in the Gnarl Marches, that they're as well established anyway. Yeah. Basically, Lady Jamandi says that these resources are at your disposal, and as are those of Restov. We will stand by your side to help you get your kingdom secured. But please be aware that forces here in Restov will be pulling at our resources and our ability to act quickly at times. And so currently, I cannot give you everything that I would like to, that you would likely need to secure your border, but these experts will bring with them some small groups that can help. And eventually, once we get a better sense of the threat in the west, then Restov will send reinforcements. Yeah, I think it's with that, see a little bit of the inner workings of who advises Lady Jamandi anyway, at least these two that she brought in to speak with you. But otherwise, you're free to return to the manor or to do things in and around Restov, with or without security. That's a detail that's up to you. Lady Jamandi would leave that up to you all, not insinuating that you couldn't handle yourself, but always offering that you could have security.
Yeah.
So
I almost feel like that wraps up what we came to accomplish in Restov. And then
yeah, I think your original goal was to return and make it known that you had done the deeds that you had been asked to do, and to seek guidance about your future. And I think now you have a lot of that defined for yourselves, and you've all advanced, so everyone's gone up a level. I think everybody's picked up some gear. Getting back on the road and getting back into the swing of things is probably, starting to chomp at you a little bit. We've been in here doing this diplomatic thing for a long time. It's in your time, it would be like years. Just a couple of days in the city would feel like years. But yeah, so you pretty
I think
much
the
have.
hard thing is for us to make. We need to make our own decision now as far as where we want to focus. So,
yeah, I think we should go check out the tower.
the one clue that we got for the tower was that it's something we needed to bring Arcana before it was not a natural thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. Do we want to make sure we got Sydney with us for that? She brings some magic there that we would have not have if she wasn't here.
Plus,
Of
we're
course,
trying to infiltrate a place. That's always helpful.
yeah.
Yeah, you might try to
Maybe-
accomplish like getting yourselves in position to approach the tower next session to that
Yeah.
point, and
I
then
was
maybe
gonna say maybe we could do
Yeah.
some more like planning, like road planning, where we would want to potentially send roads, deck out Stagfall. That's our main inroad right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
We've got to get back to Stagfall no matter what. And
Here's your
to
current
make our way.
roadways. Also,
Oh, there we go.
you can see what you've built to this point in gray, I believe, and the red line was like your road to travel, but we can update this and make sure you've got that.
Yeah, I feel like because really we were just getting to the soot scale mines. That was like the main goal, and then road beyond that. I feel like I don't know. Maybe we want to try and cut cross country and try and get something over to the trading post.
Yeah, and then if there's towns over there, that would help as well. Seems to be a landmark that people know about. They were talking about it in the councils.
Okay, yeah, here we go. So we're starting to take shape a little bit. Yeah, you're right, Scott. You could definitely do more of your roadway planning and your resource planning. You have the opportunity to establish trade, which would start to get the economy rolling and bring in some money for you all so that you could definitely pull your resources and do a lot more. You're also going to have to fund the roadway, right? Going forward, if you're going to do a more extensive roadway through Valeriana, that's going to be something you'll have to continue to fund. But as of now, and as of your return, you're suspecting that roadway should be mostly complete.
Yeah.
I could imagine a triangle between Stagfall, Oleg's, and the Sitsko mines, for instance.
And
Just to-
also
Oh
that
yeah.
thinking ahead, planning ahead a little bit for whatever we're gonna have to do to get to the troll camp. Having a road going in that direction should enable like at least supplies or reinforcement access.
Mhm.
I went ahead and removed the pathway that you guys had taken and just left the roadway on there so you guys can see that. And right now, I think destination-wise, it's the Sootscale Mine and Stagfall. That would be the main thing that you're unlocking. I think where the Sootscale leads to going to the south right now would just be to the bridge,
Right.
Mhm.
right? So where that leads and who would want to use that road, I think maybe isn't as known yet. But oh, here I've got the order on the wrong layer. Hang on. There we go.
Okay, so let's start work on the road to Oleg's then, from Stagfall to Oleg's, something like that.
Well, they're ready to trade route that our northern border sort of fall.
Yeah, that roadway can be followed to Oleg's.
So let's start the soot scale to Oleg's.
Okay.
Why I can't change the size of this thing? That's weird.
I think it would be good if we're going to do that to be investing in the soot scale so that it becomes a settlement, not just a mine.
True. Yeah, we should build up some.
Did we talk about dealing with the troll before that road is built?
Yes.
Not before, just as potential help to, well, have a road to be able to get
Ugh.
in that direction.
Yeah.
At the moment,
I was just thinking
as
he might.
far as we know anyway, the trolls
might-
haven't gotten as far as Oleg's. But
We could just plan to go, halfway and stop short so we don't endanger our crews.
Wow.
I'm struggling trying to get the outline to change, but that's all right. It's not a
Wanna
big deal.
draw a new one?
I think it's because I have it on the same
That
layer.
looks right. That
Yeah.
looks like what it looked like.
Yeah, that looks better. I was trying to uncover the roadway in the south there, just so you guys knew you had a road that led all the way. So I can see
Oh.
it better now. It looks better. Yeah, so I think basically, if I'm hearing you all right, you would make it clear to Lady Jamandi that you're going to wrap up your affairs in Restov shortly and return to your kingdom to try to take forward all of your charter. With that, she would obviously offer one last time that if there was things that you needed to use her suppliers, and I think with that you would all be given a riding horse, a Restovian riding horse that would be of pretty fine caliber, so you can all account for that. And let's see, what any other business in Restov that you wanted to attend to?
Reckla wants to get a saddle for Easton.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So that's I'm gonna give
Doesn't
you
need a land.
I'll give you a chance that you can get this.
No, I don't think it's gonna actually work out because it's his companion. So
Yeah, it would be tough. I guess like it would just be more of like a narrative
this
thing,
is more of a
like that you would actually be riding on.
We got to keep that. It might be a great way to get you out of battle in a hurry, though, or something like that.
yeah. Maybe I can come up with an easy scarf knot that I could like throw onto him and just
Yeah,
yeah.
a little harness, something like that, just to hold on tight so you don't
Right.
get thrown. Yeah.
Leopard vest.
All right, I'm cleaning up the map a little bit. I think it's looking better now. All right, so with that, then you all can plan on which morning you plan to return to Stagfall, and during that time, if there's any other follow-ups that you're doing, if we have to flash back to any of these, we can do that. If there was a question you forgot to ask or something like that, I don't mind giving everybody like a flashback question, and we can go back to that, and maybe it was something that would have occurred to you during dinner to ask, for example, whatever the case might be. With that, then again, one last call for Restov. If not, back on the road, back to Stagfall.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think, again, narratively, Sydney would have been given a word that you're heading back and that to join you as quickly as possible, type of things. We'll make that connection when we're all back together. But yeah, you can start out from Restov. I think everybody should be completely fully rested and fully equipped. You can all give yourselves at least 2 weeks worth of rations just from filling up from the stores in Restov and at Lady Jamandi's. And yeah, you're back on the road. So let me double check, see if there's anything else I wanted to cover before we leave town here. Yeah, so can actually go back to this one. This was the road to Restov. So this is what it looked like on the way in to town. And so maybe this morning on your way out of town, you stopped at the same place and see yourselves leaving the big city behind you and heading back into the plains, as it would be. Familiar territory once again, far from the diplomacy checks and society checks and getting
Oh, wait,
closer to survival checks. Yeah, that's true. I just left it the way it was. Just didn't bother updating. I just dragged us back to there. But yeah, you guys are back on the road, and yeah, I think at this point the roadway as you're traveling it is it's improved quite a bit. The roadway itself, it looks like is in better condition and it's being well used. I think you're encouraged that this would be a good travel route, at least from here to from Restov to Nivatka's crossing. It's excellent, and with the riding horses that you have, you all would be able to traverse 1.5 squares so per day, so you can make it to Nivatka's by nightfall from the morning, if as long as provided we don't encounter anything crazy, which I will roll to check weather. First thing, it's the wind has picked up, and let's see. Let's have who wants to just roll a 6-sided, please. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as it would be, the wind is, slightly at your back. It's blowing northwest, so it's not entirely in your face and slowing you down, but it's definitely noticeably windy, and the ability to stay alert and perceptive are affected because of the wind. But your travel isn't terribly affected. Your speed isn't terribly affected. And what's your marching order on the road?
I would imagine it's probably Dallett, then Reckla, then Fenwarden.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
And Fenwarden tries to keep a good 5 horse lengths between him and Reckla. He wants a gap.
All right. As you're heading down the roadway a ways from Restov now, it's in the it's out of the view, and you're back again into just plains. All you can see are open plains and grasslands. Whoever's in front, if you could go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
Give me 1 second to get to my character sheet.
Okay. You're coming up and around the bend, and you look down the roadway here, and you're sure that you see what looks to be a melee between several humanoids occurring about 100 yards up ahead on the roadway or near the roadway. You're not exactly sure who's who at this point, but it just looks like there's an all-out brawl or battle going on, and you just see arms and legs flying around. Your current count from this distance is that there's about 6 people potentially that are involved.
Okay. I'm on horseback.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then I'll just ride the horse up so that I'm an imposing figure and try to shout them down to stop.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Make an intimidation check. I think that would be a great. In your deepest, loudest voice, atop the horse. What do you say to?
You there.
Yeah. What do you say?
You there, stop fighting.
And you're
Yeah.
maybe displaying like your Aldori sword, at least like making sure that they see it on that side of the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel.
All right. Yeah, I love it. I love it,
Yep.
and I think the Aldori
Trying to
sword
put myself
itself.
in dangerous.
Yeah, that would draw some attention, and let's see. I'll give these guys an opportunity to comply or not comply. Let's see. So the temperature cools off quite dramatically, but there is one man who still appears to be incensed, who just continues to try to get at one of the others, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs that this trade route has been mine for years. And it just looks like he's going for the throat of this older guy. And so you're seeing this, but everyone else has stopped. And you have the feeling, Dallett, that if you don't do anything, that he's going to continue to try to attack this older guy. Do you let him proceed, or are you going to try to intervene in any way?
I'll try to put my horse in front of him and say, "You there? What's going on? Explain this to me."
All right, you could do another intimidation check here on him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he likes this or not. Okay. All right, then he is going to, at this point, he's lost it, and go ahead and roll initiative. Please. All right, let's get that going.
Ah, whoops. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll roll or not. If you want to try it one more time, we
Yeah,
can
I was
change
saying it
it.
won't let me put it in the turn tracker because I don't have a token.
Yeah, let's see. I can fix that. Put all you guys out here on the map for a second. Okay, try that again. I think you should, or actually, I can probably just add you now. Oh wait, it did it. Okay, it did it. I'm sorry. Do you see yourself in the turn order
You
right
guys
now?
see my rolls, by the way? What'd you say? Oh, I don't see myself on the turn order.
Okay, let me clear this. Okay, now I think if you guys, let's see, let me do this again. You can just type in your turn order on the initiative tracker, I think, now. Like whatever you rolled, you can just type over the 0.
I don't even see myself on there.
Oh,
Okay, I don't see anybody on there.
really? Huh.
We're still on the road, on the
Yeah.
road from the city picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
we got
you.
like
That's what
this.
it was. That's what it was. I was on the, I'm sitting on the map. Sorry. Let's see. Let me go back to the road picture. Here, I'll actually just move you guys over to this one. All right. So now, do you see yourselves on the turn order?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you just want to throw yourselves in there for now. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to add my, here he is. All right, we'll just use him for now. And all right, so Dallett, you'll be first here. You can act first against the aggressor here in the battle if you'd like to.
Yes, as soon as I can get my character sheet to actually load. Right now it's just very blank. There we go. All right, cool. I'm going to try to grapple him, actually.
Thought you might.
Just going to hit him, and then I was like, oh no, holding him might be better. I think it's just an unarmed strike, if I remember correctly.
Aha, okay. Yeah, so you're able to get a hold of him. And in doing so, he stops, dead in his tracks as you grab him. I guess you're still atop the horse, reaching down to try to grab him. Or did you dismount? Or
Oh, God, I forgot I was on the horse. Yeah, I'll dismount and then grab him.
okay, all right. So yeah, I think with that, you can try another intimidation if you'd like to defuse him, since you've got him in your grip as well. And this will have a plus. So
Very different.
yeah, so I think in this case, like maybe maybe it takes a second and you just notice that he appears to have soiled himself upon impact pretty much and is now whimpering pretty heavily about the whole incident and backs off. And so you're able to cut off the aggressor in this case. But at the same time, there's still a group of people standing around who are picking themselves up off the ground. It looks like they've been in a brawl. Does anyone else intervene here? I guess it would be upon Reckla next.
I guess he'd try and lecture them about not taking it to violence. That's no intellect. No intellect.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems like an unproductive thing to do. Maybe something that would have flown when the Stag Lord was in power, but certainly not now that Valeriana exists, right? Yeah, just belittle them a little bit. I like it. So why don't you try diplomacy or deception or however you want to frame
I
that.
think I'll do it as intimidation.
Okay.
Don't be messing around in our territory.
There's a
Open
new
your
sheriff. Even though
territory.
this isn't like technically your territory, you guys definitely are enforcing that the trade route belongs to everyone. Yeah, I think that the consistency that you're all kind of being sheriffs of the trade route takes hold, and the aggression backs off for the most part. Fenwarden, anything you would do here to intervene or say to do?
Fenwarden will just contribute to the whole intimidation. He'll draw back his bow with an arrow knocked in it and kind of point at each of the individuals and ask them, does anyone here think that they have exclusive right to this trade route?
Okay, you can roll an intimidation check on that. Yeah, I think it might be like not almost as you were like saying it, no one even paid attention to what you were saying. Almost maybe they didn't even notice that you were talking as you tried to do that. So that doesn't seem to affect the general morale. But let's see. I think as far as that's concerned, I'm gonna give him one more check here to see if they decide to escalate or not. And the answer is not. So they back off. Cooler heads prevail. Also, soiled pants cause that too. So they definitely back off. But one of the groups picks up and dusts off and rides off shortly thereafter towards Restov, and the other group lingers for a little bit and starts to tell you that the other group ambushed them as they were on their normal trade route and accused them of stealing their trade route. And as far as they knew, it was an open trade route. It was something that you could travel between site to site. But this other group is claiming that they run the territory in terms of trading, and what you see them trading is actually looks like it's mostly furs and some sort of like hunted goods, trapping and snares, things like that. And apparently that triggered the other group that those items couldn't be traded on this route. Whose side you believe or whatever might require further investigation if you chose to, but as it is, you get the sense that there's a little bit of territorialism going on your trade route. So any other involvement you guys want with this?
I think we need to leave word with them about that, by the way, that trade routes around Stagfall are now opening, and there's going to be great opportunity there.
I love it. Go ahead and do a diplomacy on that. Yeah, I think you get the word out. I think is a good move that to let them know that's opened up and who you are and those types of things. Yeah, they'll thank you for the old man will maybe when everyone else is like out of earshot, he'll be like, thanks. You know, he doesn't want to lose face, but he was probably overmatched, but he was
Yeah.
no match for Dallett. With that, you guys continue towards Nivatka's with little delay in your time. Maybe you just come in a little bit later than you normally would like. And yeah, you're back in Nivatka's Crossing. I think you were here not that long ago. Let me see if I still have a map somewhere. We had a good.
I don't remember what Nivatka's Crossing was about.
I'm not sure if you were with us, but we did spend the night there and we did a few interactions.
Is that where we crossed over and took care of a bunch of towers that were down there? It was in there somewhere.
No, that was Oleg's.
That was old.
This is
My
Nivatka's.
feeling with Nivatka was that we were meant to go there and then skipped over it somehow.
Yeah, we accidentally skipped it on the first
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah, you had made your way to Oleg's first. Really didn't do
Sure.
much of anything in Nivatka's. And I don't remember exactly what the reason why it was that you blew through there. But yeah, the last time through, we spent more time there. So you got to check it out and go and check out some of the. Trying to get your tokens over here, but you got to see a couple of the shops. I think were two different shops that you were able to get in and do some trading at. In the inn, in the tavern, you had met both the mayor and one of the leaders of the local temple, because Nivatka it has a pretty strong following of this particular temple, which eludes me at the moment. I'll find it in a minute. But those were a couple of the things that were here. And then generally, if you look at Nivatka's, let me go back to the map for a second, because this is unlocks a whole nother thing. But if you look at Nivatka's Crossing on this map, it's the gateway to the road to the south that leads to Varnhold. And Varnhold is where the unsavory guy was from that tried to pitch Reckla on trade. So that might register when you're passing through Nivatka's. And in fact, that might be also where maybe you've seen that garb before of Varnhold, because you've maybe seen a few travelers here from Varnhold.
They have to go through here to get out, basically.
Yeah. So as far as your trade route is concerned, at some point, Varnhold would probably, would have to travel this way, very likely, to get to you at all. So, yeah, just definitely stuff that you're starting to fill in as you make your way back and forth. But yeah, unless there's anything else, I know you guys are already fully supplied, so really anything else you would do in the Nivatka's would be
whatever we ate, replace.
Right, yeah, we can hand wave through you guys staying the night, and unless you're pursuing something else, I'll
Well, I
determine.
think we would want to see if there's any news, and I don't know that I'd mention it, but I'd listen for any news from the West about trolls. Has anybody talked about people going to the West and not coming back, or have we heard people that have recently gone to Oleg's with no problem? Just if we can get any sort of indicator of what's going on in the West.
Love it. Yeah, let's see. So I'll do Western Stolen Lands rumor. And can you see this? Can you see the roll? Yeah, so what you learn about is about this saber-toothed tiger that lives in the swamps. And so this might be something even that you would think of immediately Kirill might know about. Because he was a hunter in the Western lands, right? This spear-toothed tiger would be known by name to anyone that hunts in those northern swamps. and then see what other rumors you can get. Is there any other subject that you're curious about with the rumors or location?
Nothing comes to mind for me.
Okay, let's see then. I'll check one other thing. Yeah, I think so. One of the other rumors that you'll hear about is you'll meet a group of travelers who complain about the fact that they had built a small settlement and suddenly some sort of forest dwellers came and overtook their settlement and began squatting in their homes and drove them off eventually when their numbers grew. And this is consistent with the area and the territory where the trolls would be forcing people out of the woods. So these there's some resentment from these travelers about the safety and security in that area, and they're giving you a real example of being forced out and basically heading east to count their losses. But definitely it's like adding up for you that you're hearing more rumor about the fact that there's a little bit of chaos going on over there. But yeah, those would be the two rumors that you pick up on.
Okay.
Anyone else have any topics for Rest or Nivatkas before you head forward? All right.
No.
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, no problem. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll take our quick break here. And when we return, we'll figure out how your next day of travel has gone, as you're only 2 days away from Stagfall here.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
See you go outside. Outside? So you can get something on board? Days.
All right, so I'm gonna roll and see if there's a encounter. It's like it told me to roll on one table and then roll on another table. Here we go. All right.
AD&D.
Yeah. If I would say that if you want to make, for anyone that would like to make perception checks, this would be an open moment for you to spot maybe tonight's meal, as you would need to camp in the area potentially. Okay, it's fitting
That
that
makes
the
sense.
ranger, notices the boar and connects both the idea that if you're going to be camping, there will be boar in the area, but also it might be a good chance for you to hunt one. So that's the lead in to the fact that you all would be camping one more evening before you reach Stagfall. If you would like to find a campsite in the vicinity or hunt them first, whatever you'd like to do, those are both options for you. Basically, we'll enter the camping activities
Yeah, Fenwarden will definitely hunt the boar. See if he can get some fresh kill for us.
All right, yeah. Let's have a hunt then with the boar. I assume you're gonna stealth in on it.
For sure. Let's see. Stealth in, hunted prey. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to get in real close for your hunted prey shot, and
And
it'll be flat-footed.
he'll be flat-footed, and I'm assuming I'll have just the one shot. He will use his hunter's aim, and taking 2 actions. Find my bow here.
Okay. Yeah, it did
No,
not.
+2 onto this. 19 on that.
Yes, the boar is a 15 -2 flat-footed, so it's 13. So that is a hit. And damage-wise, it only has how much? I think it's okay. So it's pretty gravely injured. However, it is
I'm
not
gonna do a
falling.
hunted prey, so I'm gonna do an extra die 8. Another 5.
All right, 17 total.
Yes.
17 total. This one is still barely moving from the shot, but it is gravely wounded.
Fuck.
It can't go too fast at this point, but it is still moving and trying now that it's been surprised to get further away from you. Is anyone else jumping in on this?
I feel like I might not be able to. Just that one.
Yeah, that's right. You missed your check.
Yeah.
Let's see, how did Reckla do? Reckla, I'll give you the option if you think you would have caught on to what's happened and try to contribute in any way. It's up to you.
I think, what could you do here?
Finish it off, Reckla. He's got an arrow buried up to the
Yeah,
fletching.
he's not gonna take much to drop.
Unfortunately, like the only range attack spell I have is a non-lethal.
Hoping you would fireball. You can
Actually,
cook it and kill it.
Cook that sucker.
I might
Oh
have
my-
the next best thing, searing light.
That's how you do it. You see our good steak. You're getting two things done at once here.
Fire damage, sure enough.
Okay,
Smells like bacon.
so that hits. Yeah, its AC is, I guess it's 13. Yeah. How much damage is this? 13. Okay, yeah. It's incinerated. Not incinerated, but it's well done. A little more well done on the well done side than the medium rare side than you might like, but it falls over in a heap. And does this just do a single creature? Yeah. Looks like it
Yeah,
does
one
just a
creature.
single creature. Okay. Yeah, I think it would squeal one last squeal. And then perhaps your evening is now off to a good start because you've already got your meal and you've already cooked your meal. You just don't even know exactly where you're camping yet. If anyone would like to roll for your campsite.
Yeah.
Camping, yeah.
I'll roll for camouflage. There we go.
All right, yeah, nice. Both of them are good rolls, so you
For
find
some
a
reason,
good spot.
I don't see his rolls show up in the chat.
I don't
I went through this with my other group recently, and so if you guys open your character sheet, let's see, there should be under options. There's
I
a
got it.
checkbox right somewhere on here.
Yeah, it's up on the right next to the character box. There's a little. It looks like a word blurb,
Oh.
and it's whisper rolls to GM, and I accidentally clicked that earlier.
okay.
No, that
Yeah.
might be, I think that might even be on by default on some of these. I don't know. But if anyone else is having trouble seeing rolls, that's it.
Is
Let me
there an
see.
indication to show that it's... Oh yeah, if you have it on, it's circled. But if you have it off, it's just black.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when you make your rolls, it has 2 GM next to them, but I didn't even realize that was there.
Yeah. And on my screen, it doesn't say 2GM. It just shows up with, it's highlighted in purple. So it's even hard for me to detect that it's just to me. But yeah, so it looks like it's working now. Looks like it's public. Cool.
Yeah.
So you've got your site, you've got your cover camouflage set up as well. And anything else you all want to? You want to do anything crazy with this boar in your cookbook? This
You
might
give
be
it
a
a
time.
try.
Might be a time to develop a new recipe now that you've got a new ingredient.
Yeah,
You haven't
seared
had,
boar.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta do the cooking lore,
Yeah.
right?
Cooking. Yeah.
I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay. Yeah. I would say that in this case, I think it was only a DC 15 for common. Are you trying to do uh just like a variation on a existing recipe, or are you doing a brand new recipe? What do you?
I think he's probably doing a variation on the Hatzelworm steaks.
Okay. All right. So I think with the roll, it would just be considered a success. So it means that the recipe works well, and you can now prepare this one regularly, meaning you can add it to your book. And I think the benefit here would be, because we're trying to give each of these a benefit, I think give you a +1 to stealth checks or attack rolls related to hunting. Let's do that until the next day. So if something should happen in the night, or if you were going to hunt again tonight, you would have a plus to those rolls. So,
Cool.
all right. Any other activities? I think you can think Fenwarden would have one more, and so would Dallett, I believe.
I guess I'll organize the watch.
Okay.
Yeah. Attempt a perception check against the zone DC. So my perception check for organizing the watch is that an 18.
Okay. Yeah, that will work here. That will be a
All right.
success. That would mean that everyone gets a +1 to their perception checks.
During their shift. All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Got a couple pluses working for you this evening. And then Dalit, I think you have maybe one more you could do if you wanted to.
I don't know if there's anything else I want to do. Oh wait, no. There's organize the watch too. Is there?
He just did the watch one.
Gather more resources or
Yeah, you could either go and gather, which would fill potentially the pantry, or you could tell a story, or you could relax. If you relax, you get to just, let's see, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to the next check for camping activity. I guess that would have been something you would have done first. So this is more of
Yeah.
a boost. Or I guess if you could use this to remove a critical failure. That's the other thing it says here. So that's interesting. If you told a campfire story and you had a critical failure, then you could spend your second camping activity relaxing, and it would negate the critical
Oh,
failure of the camping story. But anyway, go ahead.
I guess I'll go looking for supplies. Is that a nature or a survival?
Hunt and gather. I think this one is survival. Yeah, survival.
Never mind. I'm not trained in either of those. I guess I'll tell a story then.
All right. Skip this one. Let's see. Telling a story
My
is performance. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
For telling the story, it distracts and unsettles your allies. And in
oh
the end,
wow.
they all died a horrible death. Good night.
Yeah, it was like it was a little bit off. And I think in this case, it didn't really move anybody. Maybe you got confused, like you started like with one story and you finished with another and lost everyone halfway through, kind of thing. But maybe you get tired. Even Dalek gets tired. That happens. But you guys basically have your watch set, and you can head into the night, and we'll roll your watch order real quick and see if anything happens. Oops, 1, 2, 3. Who is the last one in the watch order?
Please.
we'll say Reckla. He had a habit of going last. to some degree.
Okay. Yeah, in the morning, Reckla, you can make a perception check, please. So you definitely hear some wildlife, what you believe to be wildlife, moving in and around the camp throughout your shift, but in the morning it picks up as the sun is coming up and the sunrise is starting to appear. You pick up on a couple of maybe larger sounding movement coming from the brush nearby, and you don't get a good glimpse at it, but I think like for a second you're just not sure how close it got. You know, that stuff you're not clear on how long it was near you, but definitely after it moved away you picked up on that. So you can wake the party up at this point for the morning. We'll lead this into your morning hour. And then for those of you who are awakened here, you can make perception checks as well. Actually, for anyone who has tracking, you can make a survival check. Wow, okay. Yeah, so yeah, Dallett, you right away just start to follow this and find what appears to be a game trail that you follow for maybe 50 yards or so before it leads to more of an open, flatter area. But along the way, you point out this to Fenwarden, and between the two of you, you're able to find some tracks on the ground and follow them to this point. And Fenwarden, if you would make a nature check.
I know what the heck these things are. Oh, give a chance.
So it definitely to you appears to be the footprints of a big cat.
Big cat?
A big cat.
Just one?
Oh,
Yeah, you think just one that you followed on this pathway, but it leads, like I said, to more of a flat area where the tracking is difficult. You can't follow any more of its tracks, and so it's gone pretty much due north off of the trailway, and so you've lost its direction at this point. But looks like a large cat. Just looking to see.
Do we want to track this thing down, or maybe I'm concerned about keeping the trade route safe?
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Not our trade route, but still, it is, because anything that goes to Stagfall is probably coming from Restov. So
Yeah.
And if we want things to go from Oleg's to Restov, it has to go through us anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think in part you know that you would have attracted it with the kill that you had yesterday. Even though I'm sure you handled everything the way you should have handled it, it would have been something that would have attracted some creatures, and this may have been in that camp, but it definitely feels like it might have been watching you and hunting you, even if you're not used to that kind of thing and that size of an animal too. It you know right away it could do. Yeah, you guys are gonna hunt it?
Yeah, I think so.
I say
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to this little map here. All right.
And Fenwarden will put on his tracker's goggles. That will help with the tracking too. Plus, it makes him look crazy. They're forest green glass bound with rough leather stitched with crude twine.
Nice.
Let me have you, since you're using these goggles, have you used these before around the party much? Are they used to seeing
They used them
Fenwarden
before.
use these?
No,
Okay.
they do give me some dark vision, but I haven't really needed that. So no, I haven't really used them.
Okay. All right. So what is, I guess it's Fenwarden in front, and who's second and who's third?
I'll bring up the rear.
Okay.
Fenwarden will be carrying his bow, hoping that he'll see this thing before we actually trip on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep my sword out.
All right. Are you guys able to see this map?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You follow the tracks up towards an area where there's some creeks running off of the river, and it's a little bit swampy. The footing here is sticky. This is where you could definitely see the tracks, and as you followed them through this to this section and it crosses over this waterway, that's when the area is difficult to track. This terrain is not as soft for it's elevating. So this is where you're at, Fenwarden, when you start to try to hunt this thing. And if you want to roll you're going to roll, I think, tracking a couple of times. Is tracking survival? I think it is survival.
Gotta be survival, yeah, because the tracker's goggles give you survival. Yeah, so they'll give me a +1 on the roll. 19.
All right. And then you can roll a perception check. So you're pretty sure that the animal crossed the waterway, but after that, you're not sure where it would have gone, and you don't currently see anything to give you too much of a direction to pick. But how would you like to proceed?
I'll definitely cross the waterway. If we have to hunt it by attracting it, we'll do that. Oh, I need to get Easton involved, though, so get him on here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's try to drag him in. Where is he? Oh, he's under your companion list. Okay. Yeah, let's bring him up here. All right, yeah, he is now. Let me make him somewhat normal looking. Okay. He's on the screen now. I think you should be able to see him in a second. He's coming to the token layer. There we go.
Great. Okay. Yeah, see, I can't control him, though.
Oh. Why is it? For some reason, it just keeps disconnecting from his character sheet. I think it's good now.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll go across the river. Do we need to roll a check for that, or if we just jump over it?
You'll want to do an athletics check to cross.
Okay. Athletics. This is for Fenwarden. Should do it. And then see if Easton gets wet. He hopes not. He doesn't like to get wet. But Easton might get wet.
Can't always get what you want there, Easton. But I get you.
All right. Is 14 enough to get him across?
Let's see. Is it? No, and it won't be. He'll be slowed by this.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else following suit here, or for the others?
Yeah, Reckla will follow. He'll try to remain and give him distance so he doesn't give away his position.
Yeah, if you guys want to, you can go ahead and roll initiatives as well, so that way we stay in a... Okay, all right. So Fenwarden was correct to be first. Let's see where Dallett ends up.
Dallett's just trying to select his character token. There we go. Nice.
You guys are acting simultaneously. Let me do that. All right. So I think I've got it now in the order correctly. So Fenwarden just went. Dallett just... Did you try to cross? You rolled a...
Oh, yeah, I rolled a
23.
23 up there.
So yeah, so you can move yourself across. And anything else? Oh, you can roll a perception check now. So you're not sure if it's the water moving or something else moving, but your attention is drawn in this direction generally. So yeah, I think you have perhaps one more action if you want to do anything. Is your sword out?
Yeah, my sword's already out. I guess I'll take it out again because I probably put it away to jump across the water.
Okay. All right. Yeah, quick check. Okay. Yeah, so basically maybe a moment goes by here, and Reckla, that's when you attempted to cross and would have stumbled pretty badly into the waterway. You've now soaked yourself at least up to the chest in the water as you stumbled there, and you can spend the rest of you can spend one more, you can either spend like an action to get out on the other side with your party, or you can go back and not spend the action.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll spend the action to climb out.
Yeah, that's what Easton's doing too. Easton would spend an action to get out and an action to shake himself off.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys are all on the other bank now, and Dallett is maybe indicating in this direction is where he suspected something. Think Fenward, and then that goes back to you.
Which direction is that? I'm not seeing that indicated.
Yeah.
Is that popping at all? Maybe I'm on the wrong layer. Oh, I am on the wrong layer. Okay, here, right here.
Oh, there.
Hey.
Not much I can do. I don't see it yet. Okay, so Fenwarden he'll use an action to move. He'll use an action to, oh, wait a minute. He can, what is it? He can delay. No, prepare an action. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, how does he prepare an action? You just reserve one of your actions? Is that the way it works?
You spend an action to save action, right? So you could basically queue up. I think you spend 2 actions and in order to have one ready, so you could
Got it.
attack.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll move to there then, and then he'll use his action, 2 actions to ready a hunt prey. So he's looking for the prey
Okay.
and readying that action
Okay.
if he sees it.
All right. So back to Dallett.
I will just go closer and try to walk along the edge of these bushes and just search in them. So I'll do a perception check to see if I can spot anything there. Yeah.
All right. Let me double check this.
Stay out of Fenwarden's line of fire, eventually.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, once again, I think you still are suspicious of that general direction, but you don't see anything that you can point to 100% to say would be the target. So you close that distance and continue staying alert. And at that point is when suddenly movement does stir from the bush. And feeling somewhat surrounded here by your approach, it leaps out towards you, Dallett. And it is going to look like. Let me zoom in real quick on that so you can see what that cat looks like.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, dang.
So this thing leaps out of the brush and into Dallett's face here in your direction. So he's coming that way. Let's see, what is your AC?
Distracted by a weather report. AC is 22.
Okay. So he chomps towards you with his gigantic fangs here, and he actually connects with that. He missed with the claw though. And then let's see what's the damage. And it grabs you. You're grabbed right now, and it is
How's
How
it
do you like
feel?
that?
okay. As it basically gets this bite attack off on you, there's really no clean way for these fangs to go through you. So it's like spears, but at the same time they're not going in, they're not piercing you. They're more slashing you, if that makes sense. It basically opens a wound that will cause persistent bleed damage. So your persistent bleed damage is going to be 8. So that'll start not
8?
now, that will start next. At the end of every turn that you take, you'll take 8 bleed damage. But the attack in this case is going to cause 10 damage.
Oh.
That is it for our creature. He's now aboard the. I'll add him into the turn order and remove this other one. It's now Reckla. You're up.
I think Reckla is going to step forward and give a little boop to the bow of Fenwarden.
Okay.
+1. All right. Attack
So
roll.
that would be 1 action to move, 2 actions to cast.
Damage dice.
All right, Fenwarden, you're back to the top.
All right. Fenwarden's he's a little too close, so he's going to take a step back. I guess he's got time. He can move a little further. He'll go into there. And then he used his prepared actions last time, so it's hunted prey now. And let's see.
I'm actually gonna make this creature bigger. Seems more fun
And
that way.
large, well, yeah, it's getting scarier. Okay. He'll then use his hunted shot. But he'll get 2 strikes with this 1 melee. And sounds like it's going to be a +1 on these attacks because his bow's been enhanced there.
Yeah, and I'd like to we can transfer the bonuses you guys got last night into this interaction as well. So I think for the meal, for example, you would receive another +1 from your meal because essentially you're hunting this thing. And what was the other? You were using stealth earlier, which would have benefited you as well. And there was one other status bonus I think that you guys got over your
Well, we
campaign.
had that unsettling story, which undid the spell.
Well, that's still haunting you, but okay. So let's see, where do we end
So
up?
that's a 17, that attack roll, then the first
17.
attempt.
Yeah. His AC is, where is it? That will not hit.
Not hit. Okay, then the second one. That's better.
That will hit. Okay,
Get
so
another die of damage.
An extra die of
Magic
damage.
weapon.
So he's doing extra. So he's going to get extra. I think six siders are using on this thing. I believe, yeah, that's it. Okay, so he's got an extra die 6 because of that enhancement, and then he's got a die 8 because of his hunted prey. So another 10
10 total. Okay,
from that arrow.
minus. Okay, got it.
That one did some good. He's got 1 action left, which he'll use to. Boy, Easton will probably get his lunch eaten. He'll direct Easton to try to flank the tiger.
Okay. All right. You
And
can
then,
you can go ahead and move him over where you want him to be.
let's see, Easton's speed is 35.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the cell distances are right on this. They're like saying
yeah, they're not
big
there on
numbers.
scale. So it's going to take him 2 actions, it looks like, to get to where he wants to be.
There we go.
So he'll get over to there. And that
These
will
should
use him up.
be, hold up, these should be 10 feet. Okay, now I think it's right. So if you want to just double check that.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Oh, actually, can't even make it that far. Okay, so he's not going to make it all the way. He's not going to engage him. So he'll just make it part way and stop.
Okay.
So, okay, he's done.
All right, Dallett.
I spent my whole turn trying to figure out whether or not you can like grapple a tiger, and I really just don't think it seems reasonable.
He's got you grabbed and bitten at the moment, which it's impeding your ability
I'm
to
assuming I
maneuver
can
a little bit.
still attack.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I only need my 1 hand for that. Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely attack. Okay, there you go. It's a hit. So 9
Cool.
damage. Okay.
And I'll try for a second attack. I don't think that hits.
Is just a miss.
Okay, cool. And then my third turn, I'm going to try to escape, which I think is a strength check.
Let's see.
I always forget this. It's like escape is a.
I think it's a check, like it's a save. Let's see, what is it? It's acrobatics or athletics. Athletics. In your
Typically,
case.
athletics. DC of a creature grabbing you.
It's the DC of the effect. Okay, got it. Yeah, so I'll try to do an athletics check then. There we go.
All right. So yeah, I guess you're grabbing the grabber in this case, but you're trying to remove him from you. And in doing this, let's see, he's got to roll something real quick. He's gonna roll. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So you end the condition of being grabbed. Yeah, you are able to escape the grabbed condition here.
Cool.
Okay.
I was just reviewing why Fenwarden got such small
Then I
damage.
gotta take that persistent
He got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again, Joe.
Oh, I was just noticing why Fenwarden got such small damage on his strike. He gets because he leveled up. He gets 2d8 on his hits, and he got 2 1s.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay, yeah. So that was an abnormally bad shot as far as damage was
Yeah,
concerned.
it's
But
like I
yeah,
should have been better. I was like, yeah, I should have been better.
yeah, yeah. I thought I was gonna get better in power, and all of a sudden I'm hitting for
For
and it was
2.
showing in red, so it was telling you that it was the lowest score. Yeah,
Oh
that's.
yeah, I didn't catch that. Yeah.
But okay, so I think you're free. I think. Do you have another action, or are you out of actions?
No, that's everything for me.
Okay. All right. So the saber tooth is now going to think about what it wants to do. I think it's just going to try to continue to chomp away on Dallett here and get a grab of him again. So
Mhm.
let's see how it does. It'll do a, oh man. Okay, so it's the same, pretty much the same as last time where it tried to claw, bite, missing, hitting. So once again, it gets you again with its teeth. And then this is going to cause more persistent bleeding, another wound with persistent bleeding. And this other wound is going to cause 6 points of damage persistently until it's cured.
So I'm doing 14 points of persistent damage per turn.
Yeah, but you won't take that now. This you're going to take a different damage now, but that one was just 6. That's going to be 6. So yeah. But the strike, the actual bite itself takes 16 points.
Oh.
And once again, you are grabbed.
Yep.
All right. Saber-tooth is chomping away on your friend, Reckla. What would you like to do here?
I think Reckla is going to give himself guidance because he's going to need to make this spell attack roll hit. Oh, he does. All right.
Very nice. Let's see. Fortitude save. What is it? Here, I'll roll this one. Failed.
It's enfeebled 2.
Nice. Okay, that means it will lose some actions.
And that's a 1 minute duration.
What a good result! Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll put him as a snail on him since he has 1 action. All right. Oh, very good. Okay, Fenwarden.
All right, we'll try this again with the bow. Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll do the double strike. First shot is a 20.
Wow,
Now,
you guys are getting hot at the right time here.
Is that effect still on the bow, Reckla, that you gave it?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes or
Oh,
let me
okay.
see. Maybe it's just
plus
1 minute.
I think it's a minute, but that should be plenty.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay, I was just wondering what it takes to get a critical on this guy. But
That won't get you there, unfortunately. It's gonna have to start with a 3. Yeah.
So 10 points plus the 8 for his first hit in this turn on him. So another 3.
Okay, so 13 all day there.
Yeah, and then the second shot, not so good there. It's like a 14. Probably not going to hit.
That's just a miss.
Okay, and then he's going to direct Easton again and get Easton to come in behind this thing.
Okay, all right. Now you've got your flank in place.
And Easton will take an attack.
So he's AC's 22.
AC 22. I don't know if Easton can even hit this guy, but we'll at least pester him.
Did you level up Easton? Does he level up like with you when you level up, or how does that?
He's supposed to, yeah, and I can't remember if I went in and did that or not.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to double check, make sure that he got boosted in line with what you should have got.
Yeah,
Ooh,
well, oops,
that won't help either way. I'm glad we got to at least touch the fumble table today. 2 minutes to go. Thank you for finally bringing up the fumble table.
The streak is alive.
Yeah.
It's a weapon fumble. Doesn't have a weapon, but I'll roll it and we'll see what it says. Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, yeah, he doesn't. In this case, it's just more or less that he made a poor attack and put himself in a vulnerable position. We'll just include that in his
Okay.
AC. Okay, all right. Anything else? I think that's it for.
+1 penalty AC. Yeah, no, I'm all done.
All right, Dallett, back to you.
All right.
Dallett,
One. Oh, if I pop one of my healing potions, would that cure my persistent damage?
It won't cure the fact that you have persistent damage until you can get medical attention, but it will
Okay, cool.
recover the damage that they caused you.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to do that athletics check. Try to get out.
And 22, I think you needed a 25.
Damn. Okay. Then I'm just going to start hacking.
Okay.
Pray that I.
All right. That's right on the button. That's a hit.
Cool.
So 10 more from Dallett. All right.
And let's try again.
And that's
No.
just a miss. So
Yeah.
more
All right,
blood
cool.
just spraying all over the air. Like it's got this has to be really a bloody scene, I would think. So it's back to the tiger who is still got a grab on you. I think he will first try to swat at Easton with his first attack, and then he is going to try to. Yeah, I think.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
Quick question about. I'm sorry, just thinking about the persistent damage. Don't you roll to see after you take it each time? Don't you roll to see if it is over?
That
Um,
depends on the persistent damage.
that's true. If you
Oh,
kick the
okay.
damage, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
in this case, it's a open wound that he can't really,
Gotcha.
stop. Now he could use like battle medicine, right? If you had battle medicine, then you could stop it. But in this case, because it's not like an effect like that, it's just a big wound in this case. So he's bleeding heavy, and until he can get either stop or use an action to try to prevent that, he's taking that each time.
Yeah.
He's gonna swat here twice at his fellow feline. Ooh, okay. Now he starts rolling hot too. So he smacks the hell out of Easton with his claw here.
I'm
And
not seeing your rolls, so I don't know what you got.
oh, okay.
You're in whisper mode now.
Yeah, I must be in
You're
whisper.
whispering to yourself there.
The creature is grabbed. Where is it? Oh wait, no, that's not it. Yeah, I end up toggling that whenever there's checks that I need to roll, and then I forget to untoggle it. But he rolled a 20 and a 17 on his claw attacks, and I was just trying to double check what his claw attack damage is.
Probably the end of Easton.
What is it? All right, if you want, I'll roll these out loud here. Yeah, this is gonna be brutal. The first one needs to be doubled. So it's really this times 2, right? That's what I don't know if Roll20 can handle these advanced formulas or what. Let's see. Okay, so it would have been 3 plus 2 plus, yeah, so this is right. So it's 20 damage from the critical strike.
Okay.
And then the other is 10 damage.
0. He's no longer threatening.
Okay, so he's dropped. Let me
Yes.
put him in a red dot for the moment then. But and then with his third attack, he's already got Dallett held here.
Yep.
He's going to begin to pull you,
Wait,
Dallett.
doesn't he only get? I thought enfeebled reduces the amount of actions you get.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's right. So he should have. Let's see.
He's
He was
enfeebled too.
So he's only got one action. So he only got the first one on Easton. Or maybe he
yeah.
just got it not even to Easton. Maybe he would have done the other way.
Let's see how it would have.
Last.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered. Sorry about that. I should have had him marked.
No worries.
Okay, so it's a minus. It's actually he still gets his actions, but he has minuses to all of his effects. That's what it's saying here. So basically, all of his attack rolls would be-2. So for Easton, you're gonna take back 8 points of health.
Oh, okay. That helps a lot.
Or, I'm sorry, 6 points of health.
Take back 6.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and otherwise it's the same, but he's definitely not doing as much damage as he normally would. Yeah, and his attack rolls are decreased is the other thing. But in this case, he hit with his attack rolls. He is going to start to try to retreat with his final action, pulling Dallett with him back into the wooded area. So that's his movement now. Reckla?
Reckla.
I guess we'll make this our last action, really, because I know we're over time already by a few minutes. So we'll very likely have a cliffhanger here where we'll pick up in battle again unless you all crack the code.
Reckla will give himself guidance in hopes that his searing lights will hit. Looks like it should.
That's a hit. That's
18
yeah, that's
damage.
a hit. Okay, so yeah, let's see what one more round does here, because you guys are that's a big hit.
So you point out that 18 damage includes a 1 for one of those die.
Just looking to see. Okay, yeah, you're good. Nice. Okay. Reckla has sent the searing light one more time towards the tiger. Fenwarden?
I'm going to try his hunter's aim this time. 2 actions, basically taking a very careful aim at this thing.
Okay.
And so he's got that. That'll be a +2, and then he's got the +1 from the enchantment on his bow. Oh my gosh. That gives him
+3.
Do you have a hero? Does anyone have
18.
any hero points left? I don't know if anyone even
Yeah,
does.
I got a hero point if you want to use it.
I can hero point that one. Yeah, that's great.
Might as
I'll
well.
try that again.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. 33.
That's not critical,
Okay.
but it counts. And this thing
33 is not critical?
Oh, it's 33? It is 33? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
Haha.
this thing has 1 hit point left.
And it is pinned to a tree.
It gets extra damage from being a magical weapon, too.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
magic weapon.
Yeah.
Does it take an extra, does it give it an extra point of damage for the
Yeah, it takes an
enchantment?
extra die of damage, so he gets an extra die.
At least 1 point. Yeah, it's 1d6.
Yeah,
Or...
actually, yes, 2, because he's 100 prey. So
Okay,
he gets an extra
perfect.
9, and when I critical with the bow now, he gets pinned to something.
All right. Then, no, actually, he dies on that shot then, because he had...
Into the ground.
Yeah, he would fall over dead at that point and dropping Dallett on the ground. You needed 23, and just your shot itself did 22, let alone the extra die. Yeah, you got him exactly when you needed to get him. I wasn't sure you guys would be so efficient to end. You guys were just being dramatic. Okay, all right. Yeah, so you have defeated the saber-toothed, who now has released you, Dallett, and you can hopefully get some medical attention if you guys want to deal with that now.
Yeah, I'll
And
go up and...
that is a saber-tooth, not the thing that we were hearing a rumor about, which was I don't know, what was it called? Something else. A spear tooth.
Yeah, there was talk of this spear tooth, which was considered to be a large saber-toothed tiger. So I think there would be some question in your mind about whether this is related or if it's the
Might
same.
be related, but that's not the one. So,
yeah,
okay.
you feel like it may not be, but I think you would be unsure, because when stories get retold in taverns, they tend to take on a twist or two. But whoever wants to also do medicine on these wounds, because these are significant bite holes.
Would my heal...
Your heal will do... does your heal do damage the wound? I'm just trying to...
Because I can
Yeah.
definitely do a medicine check if need be, but I just cast the spell anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious if it's... Yeah, so it does. It cures wounds. Yeah, okay. It sounds like it would. It sounds like it would cure wounds. Yeah, as long as you're within, I guess, within touch area. All right.
It's not grabbed anymore.
I got a total of 21 hit points healing for you, Dallett.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to take some back.
And the wounded effects will go away here. Bleeding out and everything would go away. You also have your big cat that's hurting a little bit. Your own big cat, if you want to heal him up as well. But does anyone want to do anything with the dead cat?
It's got to be worth something, but I'm not sure we're in the market for the pelt, so I guess we could use it to trade if we ran across those merchants again or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it might be something that you would even use to try to prove or disprove the rumors as well. What's your intent? Do you want to skin it and bring the pelt and hide, and or what? Are you going to try to bring the whole animal? What's your?
Yeah, I think we'll skin it. We'll bring the skull. Maybe the skull could be worth something. The pelt, and we'll take a little meat just to try it later. And
You're always thinking of the cookbook. That's good. The expansion to the cookbook. Okay, go ahead. I guess you can note that.
yeah,
And
I did another heal, so everybody who needs health can get up to 15 more points of healing.
Oh, cool.
It's emanations.
perfect.
I'm going to try natural healing on Easton.
Okay.
Natural medicine. Not very good at, but medicine. No, that's good. I just heard Easton.
I think you heard him. Yeah, that would officially. I don't. You better hope you don't roll 6 or higher on your damage here. There you
No,
go.
it's okay. 'Cause
Okay.
he got some healing first from
Okay.
Plus.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still down.
But basically, I think where we'll leave it. I know we're over, but we'll say you guys have cleaned your wounds, mended yourselves following this hunt. You have taken some time to skin the animal and remove its head. Maybe it's some of its claws, just things like that would be either valuable or useful or prove otherwise the size of this thing. And you can harvest the animal, even some meat for the pantry, and make your way back to the roadway. And that's where we'll park it, is that you're back on the road between Nivatka's and the Stagfall.
Yeah.
And next session should start off with the group approaching Stagfall. That's where I think we're at.
Cool.
Cool. Now, about next session, I think that would be Christmas Eve. So obviously we won't be playing on Christmas Eve. So the session after that, it would be January 7th. So
Wow.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in 2025 for the next session.
All right.
All right.
on.
All right, guys.
Good.
Cool.
See you guys later.
Hey guys.
See ya.
Have a good Christmas.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.